Hi guys, this is a redirect to my reaction to Breaking Bad Season 1 Episode 7. Another great episode. So this is the last episode of Season 1, which means this is my last reaction to Breaking Bad. So as I said before, this is just a trial reaction to the first season of Breaking Bad, and it's been a good series, so I will definitely check it out in my own time. I'll just watch it in my own time, probably on Netflix or something. So I'm gonna just talk about my thoughts about this episode, episode 7, and then I'll get on to the season 1 review. It's just gonna be like overall thoughts. I'm not really the analytical, in-depth type of person, type of reviewer, but I will say like my overall thoughts and what I think might happen in the next few seasons or something. We'll see how this goes. So in episode 7 we saw that there's a baby shower party for the baby. So when Marie was like saying Esmeralda, like I was like, that's kind of old-fashioned. I didn't actually say that, but like I thought it was kind of an old-fashioned kind of name. But so Walter and Skyler, they've decided to name the baby Holly. In the meantime, there's this really risky deal that Walter made with Tuco, and it's just, he's really putting himself in this extremely risky business because he is very desperate to get money. He is so desperate to get money that he is willing to make a risky business with an extremely violent man. Like, damn, at the end when he was beating up his own henchman, like I was like, what the fuck? Like, he was just backing you up. Like, that's all he did. Like, how is that a crime against you? It was just, he's literally very loyal to you, and you're just gonna beat him up for it? Because he saw it as an insult when he was like having his back. What's the point in having a henchman if they're not allowed to have your back? Like, that just makes no sense to me, you know? Anyway, before I get onto that, so Walter and Jesse are obviously still making meth. They need to make meth, a lot of meth for Tuco. So the first meeting they had was in this dumpster place. Walter is now embracing his new identity as Heisenberg. So, and the DEA, like, they know that the janitor in the school wasn't the one that is like making the meth, but they did find marijuana in him, so that's why they arrested the janitor in the school. So that's what happened right at the beginning, where they were having this whole meeting. So the DEA were like giving advice to the people there regarding some of the school equipment being stolen. They don't know that Walter was like the actual one who took the chemistry equipment. So that's still an investigation that's still going on, and they still have not suspected Walter, because Walter is a very slippery type of guy. He's an extremely big liar as well. Like, the amount of lies he feeds Skyler is just unbelievable. I could literally make a whole list of lies he tells Skyler and everyone. Like, it's ridiculous. Of course I understand he needs to pay for the chemotherapy and he's doing this for his family. I get that, but still, like, there's no excuse to do these illegal things. Also, he's killed people in the process of it. He's killed Emilio, he's killed Crazy 8, and he's just adding more and more illegal stuff to this. Like, the fact that he broke in that place to with Jesse to get the methylamine. So the deal was with Tuco. Tuco wasn't happy when Walter gave him just a really small patch of meth. So Tuco was like, no, I expect £2. That was the deal. £2 per week. That was the deal, I believe. And then Walter, he was extremely reckless for saying that he'll actually give him £4 next time. And I'm like thinking, damn, £2 wasn't enough for you. That like, Jesse was just having a go at him for like, how the hell do you expect to get £4 of meth? But it turns out that Walter actually had a plan. So he's going to use different ingredients to actually make the meth. So I thought, I mean, he's so damn reckless, but at the same time, he's so damn intelligent, which makes him a very interesting character. I don't agree with Walter's ways of doing things, but he is very interesting in the sense that he's very intelligent. He uses his chemical knowledge, his knowledge of chemistry to like make him do all of these illegal things, and I find that very fascinating for a protagonist who is pretty much an anti-hero. Um, I would classify him as an anti-hero because he's not like a goody two-shoes at all, but at the same time, he's kind of like, at least he has good intentions in the sense that he's doing this for his family, but still is that's not an excuse. But I'm just like saying that I wouldn't call him an outright antagonist because he didn't want to kill Emilio and Crazy 8 in cold blood. He just had to out of self-defense. Anyway, so yeah, he ended up making 4 pounds of blue meth. What I found really interesting, so just going back to the point about how he's using his chemical knowledge to make him do all of these illegal things. So the plan was to get all of those ingredients. So Jesse had to get all of the ingredients that Walter needed to make the meth because they were completely different ingredients from what they used before. And so Jesse got all of the ingredients, but it turns out that it was extremely expensive to buy all of that stuff. But the one ingredient that he didn't get was the methylamine. So so they had to like literally be like a bunch of robbers. So they were wearing these masks, and it was just really funny seeing them wear the mask with the big furry ball. I forgot what they were called. It's those type of hats with the big furry ball at the top. It was just really funny seeing them wearing those masks. And then they tied the police officer inside that toilet just so that they could break in. And how they broke in was so fascinating to me. So Walter is, as I said, he's very good with his chemistry, and he knows that thermite can be used to break steel locks, and I found that really fascinating. So with the steel lock, he was able to burn that away with thermite, so that's how he was able to break in and get that huge barrel full of methylamine, I believe. So yeah, they brought that home. It turns out that the RV is not a good place anymore, like it's kind of broken, so they can't make the meth in the RV anymore, it seems. So that's why they went back to Jesse's house, Jesse's basement, to make the meth. What was really risky though was that Jesse was planning to sell his house, so a lot of people were visiting his house and they almost went inside the basement, so that was extremely risky. That they could have been caught making meth. So fortunately no one came in because Jesse was at the door making sure that no one came in. And then he told them that he's not actually selling the house. So yeah, yeah, he would who would want to buy a house that has like a huge hole in the roof? So yeah, they were making the meth in Jesse's basement. Um, and it turns out that it was blue meth that they made. Tuco, he was a little bit surprised about why it's blue, but he was really, really impressed that it was just as good, just as pure as the meth before. And he thinks Heisenberg is the best when it comes to his meth. So that's the good news, that he didn't fight over the fact that it was just blue. But then he started beating up his own henchmen. That kind of shocked me. Like, all he did was just stand up for you. Like, he was just telling Heisenberg that you gotta know who you're dealing with, and Tuco was like, he already knows that, why are you telling him that? And then he got really angry, like, very quickly. And then like Heisenberg was like telling him, I'm calling him Heisenberg now, it's Walter, but he's putting on this alter ego Heisenberg. Is quite interesting. So damn illegal and immoral, but anyway, so yeah, he was just trying to calm Tuco down by telling him to relax, but Tuco just beat the shit out of him, and then so much blood was on his face, and I was like, what? Just from a few punches he's already bleeding the shit out of himself. Oh, jeez, man. Like, he's got some violent outbursts. Like, he's got some real anger issues, and you could see in Heisenberg and Jesse's faces, they were quite scared because they're obviously making a deal with the devil here. So, you know, like, you can't mess with this guy. He could literally kill you, actually, if you mess with him. So it's really unfortunate that they've made this deal with him. Um, and Skyler just knows nothing. No one knows nothing, and I just wonder, like, is she gonna find out in season two? Because if she doesn't find out in season two, then she is kind of dumb for like not suspecting Walter of anything. To be fair though, Walter does seem like a very good liar, and he comes up with excuses like very quickly. So like how he made the lie about wanting to go to the sweat lodge to help him with his lungs, because they were like looking at homeopathic holistic remedies as well for Walter's to treat Walter's lung cancer, theoretically speaking. Um, so Skylar bought into it. Poor woman, man. Like, she just, to not know it that your husband is technically a murderer and just a drug dealer, like a top deal drug dealer, like, oh man. Yo, imagine being in that position. Um, and like having a baby girl and like just being pregnant, like, is she gonna find out whilst she's pregnant? Because she's like 6 or 7 months in, so that's only a few months until she gives birth. Um, so it's gonna be kind of bad if she finds out while she's pregnant, because it might actually make her, you know, go into labor or something. Like, because it's going to be a real shocker surely when she finds out. And I don't know when she's going to find out, and I don't know, like, I can't make any predictions on that. But like, seriously, like, you still haven't seen like the stash of money and like that Walter is keeping. Like, that's another thing, where is he keeping all that money anyway? Like, is he keeping it in that room's that vent place that he was keeping money before, or would he put it in a more secret location? I don't know. I have a feeling Skylar might see that. Um, so when it comes to season one review though, um, oh yeah, I need to talk about Marie. Okay, so I was really shocked that Marie was literally, she stole a baby tiara, and she, as a gift, as a baby shower gift for the baby. And I'm like thinking, why the hell would you give a tiara? Out of all things to give a baby, you'd give a tiara, an expensive tiara to a baby. First of all, that puts quite a burden on Skylar and them. Like, you shouldn't give an extremely expensive gift like that, and to be honest, it's not even practical. Why the hell would you give jewelry for a baby? You're supposed to give more practical items like a high chair or like a Moses basket or something, a cot or whatever, I don't know, toys even, books for the baby. No, you're gonna give her a tiara and you're gonna steal it as well. So it's just like, so Skylar wanted to return it. She didn't think it was right to give that. It turns out that it was actually stolen, so she actually got arrested, but she actually managed to get out of that whole situation. Um, so, and she tried to question Marie about it, but Marie was like denying the fact that she actually stole it. And I'm like, you're a grown ass woman, man. Why would you steal that? Anyway, it's just weird. That is so weird. I would never give like such an expensive gift like that for anything. Like, I'd give something more practical if it had to be expensive. Um, yeah. So that's what happened. In season one review though, um, Walter and Jesse have been like making meth. So the whole idea is that Walter got lung cancer and he needed to pay for the chemotherapy. So he needed to make a lot of money, and so he thought that like making meth would be the way, because he is a chemistry teacher after all, and he is the best meth maker as well, because he makes the purest meth compared to like how Jesse used to make meth. So it's just like so many crimes have just been piling up, and it's really interesting, but at the same time I don't like where like just how like he's just been so reckless, and he's just been so dishonest to Skyler and dishonest to his family, dishonest to everyone really. He's really fooling people and making people feel sorry for him because of his lung cancer. Um, and they just don't know the fact that he's doing all these bad things. Um, I mean, he's doing it for his family, but still, there's not really an excuse that you can give for that. But when it comes to like actual concept, it's a very unique concept, and that's why I'm very impressed with Breaking Bad for its concept of having a protagonist, a main character actually doing so many illegal things, because it's not common for main characters, at least nothing that I've seen really, where they're very immoral and they do lots of illegal things, because they're usually supposed to be goody two shoes. But in this case, like he's very like morally grey. Like I wouldn't call him an entirely bad person, because he really didn't want to kill Crazy 8, but he had to, because Crazy 8 was trying to kill him, so he had to kill him instead out of self-defense. Um, but I really enjoyed that episode because he really didn't want to kill him, and he was even feeding Crazy 8 when he held him hostage. And but the idea of like dissolving Emilio's body, I just found that so fucked up. But like they did kill him out of self-defense, and just like using chemistry as a weapon is just very interesting to me. So he's used red phosphorus, he's used fulminated mercury, he's used thermite as chemical weapons against the bad guys. So the red phosphorus was against Emilio and Crazy 8, and that was in the very first episode. And he used fulminated mercury against Tuco to make him like, to show him that actually I'm the boss here, you know, and you can't mess with me, otherwise I'll make more chemical weapons. So that's why Tuco was being so nice in episode 7 towards him, because he does think of Heisenberg as a threat, because of his knowledge of chemical weapons. So what fulminating mercury did was that he actually blew up the place, kinda, sort of. It definitely shook the ground, and so Tuco was scared enough to be like, you know, like not being mean to him, not beating him up. So yeah, and thermite was able to actually melt the steel log. So yeah, it's very interesting, all this chemistry stuff that goes into this, and also that goes into the meth making, and like the different equipment that's needed, like the boiling flask, etc. I feel like the producers had to do so much research into like how meth is made, but then there's kind of a danger of giving so much information about it. Like if some people were to watch Breaking Bad, they'd be like, oh, let's make meth, because they're like giving out the ingredients for it. I don't know, but like it's just, I feel like it's kind of putting a bad influence on people, um, because the two main characters, Walter and Jesse, are making meth, and I mean they don't show the whole thing, the whole process, so I guess. But then again, you could always research it online, I think. And not that I'd know. Obviously, I'd never make drugs or anything like that. Um, I'm too much of a goody two shoes myself, but like seriously, but it's just it's very immoral and it's illegal doing this. Um, again though, it's a very interesting concept. Like it's unique. I can't compare anything to Breaking Bad in terms of like similar concepts really. Um, so I'm impressed, but at the same time, I I mean, because it's so different, like I'm not very used to this kind of concept, and also personally I prefer my main characters to be more moral. Um, Shall I make a comparison with Rick Grimes? So Rick Grimes is an actual police officer in The Walking Dead, and he has made some decisions, but like some bad decisions, but overall though he's more moral in a sense. So just to wrap up on my overall thoughts of season one, it's been a good series, and I'm very like I'm quite amazed by how he uses chemical weapons and the chemistry to like make the meth and like make the weapons, and ways to like overthrow the bad guys that he comes across. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching season two in my own time, and I don't really have any predictions, but I have a feeling Skyler will find out in season two. um yeah, I'm not really the type of person to make predictions and stuff, but yeah, that's all I have to say regarding season one. So what did you think of this season? What do you think of Breaking Bad as a whole? And stay tuned for more.